This is fucking bullshit, dude. I'm not doing that one.
We'll get to it.
No, it's not on there, fucker. No, that's not happening. Okay.
All right. Well, to start off, I'm gonna have to ask you a few questions. This comes from the questionnaire for boys who cry.
I'm all over that shit. You know, that used to be my main back in the day.
All right. Question 1. True
Indeed.
or false? You are a Weasley little wimp who readily sheds tears over spilt milk.
Indeed, that's the case.
That's the case? Okay.
Indeed, that is the case. Write that down. That's a yes.
Okay. True or false? You are a man who is comfortable expressing emotion in front of other people.
Oh, yes, of course, that's the case. Yeah, if you've seen me at any public or social event, that is the case indeed.
Okay, final question. You would be satisfied with being called any of the following terms: a grumbler, a whiner, a fraidy cat, a mollycoddle or a mollycoddled sissy, a heart on their sleeve romantic, a crybaby, or a click enjoyer.
So I was immediately out, and then he rolled me back in with a what mollycoddle?
Yeah, a mollycoddle.
If any of my compadres ever dropped mollycoddle in front of me in any way, shape, or form, they would instantly move up my totem of best friend ranking, which I have.
Well, now that we've answered those questions, we can move on to the main event.
Bum, bum, bum.
Okay, Brett. First one. Click.
Okay, so...
Actually, before we start moving things on here, we have to clarify whether or not... Are we ranking these based on how hard or how often they make you cry, how easily they make you cry, or just the quality of the thing itself?
Okay, so obviously not the quality of the thing itself.
Okay.
Because all of these are just vastly different items. And in an itemized receipt, it would not go together. You wouldn't know what store you're shopping at. So it must then be the case that it goes by either amount of tears or ability to get me to shed such tears.
We'll say just a combo of those.
Right. Because of course, we can just say like an average of just, tier type things.
Okay. And then my involvement in the ranking of these things will come into whether or not I think you're telling the truth.
Okay. I indeed enjoy that aspect of it.
Because when I was going through this list, I realized how many of these things I've walked in
on me crying,
or it was just part of it in the first place. So this is the first time I ever saw you cry ever was when we watched Click together.
Fucking right, proper dick.
I feel like Click is immediate S tier, and
so here's the thing. I don't want to say it's S tier, but it is. I don't want to say it's S tier because it's fucking Click. But every time I watch Click, not only does it make me cry, but the last few times I've watched Click, this is not a joke, audience. The last, probably 2 or 3 times I watch Click, yes, I watch it frequently. It's actually made me cry twice on 2 separate scenes.
So not just the one scene where
he's dying and talking to his son about family comes first. No, there is another scene where Adam Sandler is weird.
Flapping his stomach tongue?
No, not that one. His weird fucking Click version of him, his zombie Click version of himself, is like, when his dad's trying to talk to him and then his dad dies. That scene, actually, the last few times I watched Click has made me cry, so it does the double on me.
Okay, so...
so it has to be S tier.
Absolutely S tier.
Unfortunately,
maybe even double S tier. We have to add a new category. Okay, now we have what looks like a romantic comedy, About Time.
Yes, so About Time is a rom-com, emphasis on the sad. It really is just a beautiful fucking love story, centered around a really weird trait, where the main character can go back in time. But this one gets me to cry pretty much every time, but the last few times I've watched it's been a little bit more slow, so I think this is a B tier for me.
B tier?
I think it's B tier. So what happens is it'll usually elicit some form of like lip quivering and like 1 or 2 tears, but it's not like a whole fucking rain fest like I usually am.
I'm willing to believe that this is a B tier on the cry list. Alright, next up is Cats in the Cradle, the song.
Yeah, okay, so Cats in the Cradle, you may be thinking, isn't this just a song about a son and his dad? You'd be wrong. It's actually a song about a father abusing his son by never being around, and then him coming to terms with it in elderly age, that he fucking neglected his family and his son, and it's fucking just, Jesus fuck, it's so sad. This is an S tier. Gets me to cry every time, and it's a song, so I listen to it way more frequently than I watch these films, and to this day, Every single time I listen to this song, I shed at least a handful of tears.
All right, this is another one where I was present with you, but I didn't actually see you cry, I don't think.
Yeah, so Come and See, obviously everyone knows, war film.
Incredibly sad.
Very sad. It's more depressing than sad. It's a long movie. It's like 3.5 hours, maybe 250, something around there, right? In the middle.
Yeah, it's a long one.
And only one moment did it make me cry, and it wasn't Waterworks, so this is going in D tier.
Oh, this is going in D tier?
In D tiers, because I did shed a tear.
Wait, what was the moment that made you cry? Was it when they threw the baby through the window?
Oh, fuck no. No, that is not the moment that made me cry one bit. But there's kind of a scene before that where he's kind of just, like, walking, and you can just fucking tell every single thing in life made this man just become elderly through all the shit that he's been through.
I'm also satisfied with this D tier ranking.
Yes, indeed.
I was assuming that you'd go with B, and I was going to lower down to C because you also fell asleep when you watched this. Celeste and Jesse Forever. So a fucking Andy Samberg rom-com made you cry.
It's not a fucking com. Let me stop you there, punk ass bitch. It's not a com. It's just a rom, and it's about that one person you're in a relationship with for a long time, and you really think it's going to work out, and then the cards just fucking fall a different way.
Did you watch this?
Recently, but it was also I was going through a turbulent part in my current relationship, which played a role.
So it sounds like this is going up to a B tier at least.
But let me stop you there. It's not, because I only cried a little bit, and I didn't cry a lot. It was a minor amount, so it's going in C tier. Because I definitely cried more tears than Come and See, but if I watched it again, it probably wouldn't get me again, like About Time would.
I could understand this because you can relate to what's going on in this emotionally.
Indeed, and not Come and See, which if I could relate to Come and See, I'd be a fucking wreck.
This next one is Heartbreak, Breaking Up.
Indeed. So this is not a movie or a song or a property at all. Bet you didn't think we'd go here, but we are.
This is just a concept.
Just the concept of breaking up. So breaking up is sad. Breaking up is sad, but I'm here to tell you it's not as sad as Click. So it's going in A tier.
Next one is Tree of Life, and this one is the second time I've ever seen you cry, and I was shocked that you ended up shedding a tear over this one. I think it is a very good movie, but I'm also just not. I'm not as...
Not a crier. Not a crier.
Lachrymose.
And that's okay. Great poll. This one actually is not going to be... So some of these are a little different. So this isn't the same kind of category of tier. Tree of Life is a tear shed of just real beauty and art. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So when the Tree of Life comes at you, and it's just a fucking glorious film. The way that it's filmed, it's just about everything and nothing, and it's beautiful. And it's really a tear of beauty. Now, all that to be said, I have watched this film on a good handful of occasions, probably 5 or 6, and I don't cry every time. Now, if it's been a while, I'll...
All right, this is just the song Hallelujah, right? That's not just Shrek?
No, it's not just Shrek, and it's not the fucking Shrek version. Jeff Buckley, look him up, goat singer. Fucking Drowned in a River. That's an awesome... Someone make that on YouTube. That's a YouTube video. Write that down.
Write it down.
Write it down. Write it down. I'm writing. Drowned in a River. It used to get me to cry every time, but I think because of pounded use of it, because this was my sad song for a long period of time, it doesn't get me every time, but the tears shed when it gets me are a lot stronger than the ones in D tier, so I'm going C.
Going C?
C tier.
Okay. Next up is Good Hibachi. Good Hibachi. Where does Good Hibachi fall on the list?
So this one's a different tier too. You may be thinking, what does that mean, Good Hibachi? Well, what it means is it's a type of food.
Okay, well, I have a hard time believing that you would actually cry over Good Hibachi.
No, you don't know me. I'm talking when they fucking come to your table and they're cutting up fucking steak and they're throwing butter on it and they got fucking rice and lo mein and they're throwing it at your fucking whale of a mouth and you're munching it. Okay? I have cried. Okay? More than once.
Are you sure that he wasn't just cutting onions in front of you?
I'm positive.
Okay.
Although there are onions at play.
What was the reaction of the people you were next to when they saw that you were crying over Good
Hibachi? I
Hibachi?
didn't show them. Good Hibachi, as much as I love it and it has made me shed a tear, is going in the F tier.
It's going in F tier?
It's going in F tier.
All right, we have a bit of a bell curve going on here.
Indeed we do.
All right, next one. I don't even know what this is. Pining?
Pining. So the concept of pining is yearning, lusting, and that's a B tier. So, actually, fuck it. We're going C tier.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'm doing your job for you. Because you're right. Pining in general, sometimes I pine and I don't cry. Fuck it, put it at B. Back up.
Back up.
Do your job. Back up.
All right, Brett. You know how you go to the Jocelyn, you go to the art museum, and you have a real strong connection with a piece of art there. You stare at it for hours, and you eventually shed a tear.
I'm not happy about the photo that was chosen for this.
So this one represents really good art.
No, it doesn't. Yeah. And let me stop you there. So we're gonna have to pause. Okay, I don't know if you're gonna put this in. I don't know if this is gonna be a break, but I am genuinely upset. Because everyone knows Mark Rothko's a fucking hack. He sucks cock. Everyone hates him. His paintings are fucking bollocks.
Whoa.
My 2-year-old nephew could do a better job.
Brett, you're telling me you don't love this piece by Mark Rothko, which is, I assume, titled Red, Pink, Blue? Or maybe it's just numbered?
No, it's 4A. Or red. Red 3.
Could even be untitled.
Could be untitled. Yes, so I hate Mark Rothko. And if Mark Rothko was on here, it'd be a fat F.
Okay.
But.
Mark Rothko does not make Brett cry.
No, Mark Rothko is interesting. But I will say, beautiful art exists and has made me shed a tear.
So I'm assuming this goes in B tier.
So I'm going to put it in C tier. Now tell me what your thoughts are about that.
Well, considering I've gone to the Jocelyn, which is our local art museum, with you on several occasions, and on none of those occasions have I actually seen you shed a tear at any of the art pieces there. I'm going to have to agree with the C tier here. I like this next one a lot. This next one is Fruitful Interaction.
Okay, so yeah, you were a little confused when I said this, when I brought this up.
No, I wasn't
for the
confused,
list.
but I was more offended because I feel like we've had some pretty fruitful interactions, you and I, and never once have you cried just at us interacting.
We have had many fruitful interactions.
Why have I made you cry?
You're not included. So let me explain to you what I mean exactly by this. So what I mean is you haven't seen your buds in a long time. You have a conversation, you're catching up, you're talking about life stuff, you're having a good time. Okay? And then someone breaks down some serious shit. And then it becomes a serious conversation, but it's still light enough between people. Are you guys seeing the painting I'm fucking painting right now? The picture I'm fucking painting right now? Fuck that, dude. The picture I'm painting right now.
What was the last fruitful interaction that you had that made you cry?
That made me cry? Well, so here's the thing. It doesn't always make me cry during the interaction, but a lot of times it'll make me cry post-interaction. Now, this may be why you don't think that you've made me cry in any of these discussions, but you have. So a lot of it is on the drive back, I'm like, man, fuck. I'm sure you've heard me drop this line before, but I fucking love that motherfucker. Or I fucking love this shit.
All right, so where does it fall?
Now, that being said, it's not a frequent tier, right? And it's not as if like you said, we've had many fruitful interactions, and it's not as if I've cried at all of them. So it's gonna have to go for me in D tier.
D tier, okay.
Because it happens, but it's infrequent. Next up.
Now, this was another one I was part of. I was part of the tiers.
Inadvertently, you were part of it. I didn't invite you.
Well, we were living together at the time, and I walked in. This was back at the Gruff. Shout out the Gruff.
Shout out Gruff.
And you were just reading on the couch, and I came by, and you were just finishing up the Plague, and you were shedding a tear.
Yeah, I think this is an A tier. I don't think it's an S where it's gonna it's waterworks every time and I'm crying a lot.
Yeah, definitely not S. Just because it's only made you cry this one time that you read it, the single time.
But I have that inkling that it would fucking make me cry again if I reran it.
I was hanging out with you for pretty much the rest of that day, and I could tell that you were affected by it.
Oh, it's deeply moving. Yeah, it's a beautiful book. I would recommend it to everybody. I think it's my favorite book, and I've not read that many, so it's not saying that much. But I love books, and it's great, and it's awesome.
The fact that you'd call it your favorite book and it made you cry definitely belongs in A tier then.
No doubt. Right up there with relationships. What a fucking weird thing we're doing. Okay, go on. Pop off.
Right, I think B's fine.
Okay, yeah, I think it could be in B. Because even the time where it didn't make me cry, I definitely was eyes getting watery moment. I just kind of, toughed it out because there was a girl in the room.
Next one, Star Wars Episode 9.
Now you may be thinking to yourself, how could Episode 9 make a motherfucker cry? Episode 9 came out and was one of the worst films I have ever seen in my natural-born life. One of the worst films I think I will ever see. It is firmly a half a star. If I could go 0 on Letterboxd, it would be 0. All that to be said, I did cry. I've only watched it the one time. I will never watch it again. I shed one solemn tear for the disappointment that I had in that minor part of my brain, just sitting there, thinking, what could this have been? So it's going to go in the F tier.
Right next to hibachi.
Right next to hibachi. One great thing, one terrible thing. The world is at peace once again.
All right, up next is dog.
Is that what it is?
That's a dog.
Oh, right. So I have a dog. I have a dog I should not have with my partner. And we live in an apartment, a small apartment. This is not a little dog.
It's a big dog.
Medium to big dog. We should not have him. I love him dearly.
Just to illustrate how destructive this dog is, they used to put him in his crate in his kennel when they would leave, but then he would sneak out and still get into shit, mainly the trash. So what they ended up doing, I have a video of this. I'll put it up now. They had to put the trash inside the kennel to keep the dog from getting to the trash instead of trying to contain the dog.
He was locked in, now he's locked out. When we're at home and not gone, he's a good dog, he's fine. But we just shouldn't have him in our current circumstance. Anyway, Bill is going in the F tier, even though I love him dearly, we still shouldn't have him. He actually has never made me cry, although he should have in life. So he could go in the F minus tier, if we're going to put that. As much as we love you, Bill, you don't make me cry, which is kind of good, I guess. Although sometimes he probably should.
All right, this next one, I have a screenshot of the definition of spanking.
Yeah, so this is a tier that we haven't discussed either. This is a tier of pain.
Yeah.
So corporal punishment we now know is not great, but I will say on a personal level, I feel like, wow, I'm gonna get canceled pre-game. I will say on a personal level, it worked for me.
How often were you spanked as a kid?
Not often. I would say like on average maybe like once every couple weeks. I love my parents and they did everything in the world for me to have a better life, and I appreciate them to no end, and they're the best parents I think out of anyone I've ever met. Now they did spank me and I think it was helpful. That being said, it did make me cry. Not every time, so it's going in D. Because it was infrequent, but frequent enough.
So this one is a commencement speech.
It is just the most awe-inspiring, fucking beautiful, glorious speech you will ever hear in your life. Just the most motivating. If you're one of those motivation cunts who just jerks off to like David Goggins screaming about boats, this is your fucking shit. Look it up, watch it, know it, love it. But it also will fucking bring a tear to your eye. Now, if I watched today, do I know if it would fucking be Wetworks? We should test it. I'm going to say tentatively in the A tier. We'll have the edited version because we're gonna watch it again. If it's Wetworks, S. If it's not, A. Fucking beautiful.
This next one, Brett. Do you remember your list?
I don't remember my list. I don't know what this is. Is it headaches? Headaches make me cry. Fuck it, put it in headaches.
No, this is withdrawal as a concept. So, Brett, withdrawal is a concept. How often does that make you cry? And do you have any specific stories you'd like to share?
So I think what's running through one's brain when they say withdrawal is a concept, in my opinion.
Probably drug withdrawal, but that's not what you're talking about.
No, absolutely not what I'm talking about. Shout out all those with drug withdrawal. I'm sorry. That probably makes you cry more than this makes normal people cry. But anyway, withdrawal is a concept. In my opinion, the kind of bit with it is that... Now, as a concept, does this make me cry super frequently? As a concept, no. But in action... in life, I'm crying. So it needs to go, I think, in B tier. What do you think?
C tier. All right, that completes the list.
Bada bing, bada boom. Wait, there was one more, wasn't there? At the end? That you had? That you didn't tell me about?
Yeah. Okay, so... 9/11. You didn't put 9/11 on the things that make you cry.
I don't know if I'm laughing or crying, bro. I can't.
Got through the whole thing and didn't cry once.
Yeah, got through the whole thing. I didn't even cry.